Hello everyone, my name is Karen Haley and I'm Creggan Country Park's Environmental Officer. Today we're going to look at hydroelectricity. It's a big word, but we can break it down into two words. The first word is hydro. This basically means water. The second word is electricity, and we use this every day to turn on our lights, watch TV, or even play the Xbox. So hydroelectricity is produced from the movement of water. In Greece over 2,000 years ago, people used the power of flowing water to turn the wheel of their mill, and this allowed them to grind wheat into flour. So since then, hydro has come a long way. An engineer named James Francis created the first water turbine. In 1882, the world's first hydro power plant began operating in the United States along the Fox River in Wisconsin, and since then, 71% of renewable energy on Earth is from hydropower. Did you know that hydropower is what we call a renewable energy? This basically means that it will never run out. It can be used over and over and over again. So how does it work? Water gains potential energy just before it flows downhill. Potential energy is stored energy. This is then converted to kinetic or moving energy as it flows down the hill. Once it gets there, the water turns blades inside the turbine, and this is what generates electricity for your home. There are lots of advantages of hydro. It's renewable, so like wind and solar, it's here now ready to be used. It can be used over and over again and will never run out. It's clean, so it doesn't affect water quality. It's reliable and provides electricity when we need it, and it costs less money to maintain. Like other forms of electricity, hydro has some drawbacks as well. It can cost a lot of money to install. That's installing the pipes that lead into the turbine and things like that. If we built in an area where people live, those people might end up having to move out of their homes. It can harm fish and other wildlife if it's installed on a river or lake with lots of wildlife in it. And it needs a steady supply of flowing water and reservoir to store this water, so an area has to have all these conditions in order for hydro to work. For hydro to work, it needs a valley, a dam, and flowing water. So Creggan Country Park is perfect for this. As you can see with the photo on the left, the park is between two valleys. In the late 1800s, Bishop Harvey built the reservoirs to provide water for street cleansing, and then it later went on to supply water to homes in the city until the late 1970s. The bottom of the picture shows a path linking Creggan to Glenowen. This is actually one of the dams holding back water in our water sports area, or the middle reservoir as we call it. The picture on the right is the fishery taken from the middle dam. You can see how high up Creggan Country Park is compared to the rest of the city. High up means water from the mountains above flow downhill, and this makes it ideal for hydro. Here's a view when you stand on the dam wall that links the middle and lower reservoirs. You wouldn't even know you were standing on a dam wall because it's just a path. So you'll be able to see both reservoirs, the middle and lower, whenever you look to your left and your right. As it goes on, you'll see railings linking into the middle reservoir. This is actually the start of our hydro scheme. The water's pumped in here and it flows downstream into the hydro turbine where it generates electricity. So as you walk across the dam towards Glenowen and you look to your left, you'll see an overflow channel. This allows us to safely drain away any water if the reservoir water gets too high. And then as you keep going on, you'll see that the water begins its journey towards our hydro turbine in a stream.
This is before we start the turbine. A lot of water coming down through the bywash steps. We have a lot of rain this last 24 hours. We're getting organised now to start up the turbine. So the water will then come out through the grill here on the left.
If you're ever walking along Creggan Road, you might see a green hut on your left. This is housing our hydro turbine, and inside, this is what you'll see. So here's the equipment that controls the hydro turbine. You see there's on and off switches and an emergency stop so that we can stop it immediately if anything goes wrong. And you can see there's a display there as well, so we're going to take a closer look at that. Here's the display up close. This tells us what level the water's at, and it also tells us how much electricity the turbine's producing. Our hydroelectric scheme was installed in 2006 and cost around £250,000. Now it's 75 kilowatts, which is really small when you compare it to the world's biggest hydroelectric power plant. In China, the Three Gorges Dam is situated on the Yangtze River. It is 2,335 metres long and 185 metres tall, and it can produce 22,500 megawatts of power, which is huge. So when you go back to class, have a look online and see the Three Gorges Dam, and you'll see for yourself how big it is. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed the session and you've learned a bit about hydro. If you've any other questions or want more information, visit us at www.creggancountrypark.com. We'd like to say thanks to our funders, DERA and the Department for Communities, and we hope you'll be able to visit us again soon and see the hydro for yourself.